There we go. Looks like it's on. Hi, I'm going to do a live video this morning for you. Just want to check in and see how you're doing on living your truth. This is a really powerful time that we're in, and living our truth is so important. Um, yeah, I just want to wait a couple minutes and anybody who can hop on with it. But Ayn Rand wrote these books. She wrote her books in 1957 is when she wrote Atlas Shrugged. And Atlas Shrugged was a book. It was a commentary on government that becomes too powerful and basically erodes the freedoms of the people over time. And as that erosion happens and people conform to the system, what we end up doing is giving up the spark of life within us. We give up the spark of our own vitality, of our own truth, and then life starts draining from this world. As John Laporto, who put together, I don't know if you all remember in 2012, the Upriser Manifesto. It's really worth watching. It's amazing. It's on YouTube. You can look up Garrett John or Garrett Laporto, I think, and the Upriser Manifesto. Anyway, that one is amazing. But what he talks about is when we give up our essence, when we give up the vitality of this life that is us, we begin literally draining the life out of this world. And so I want to ask each of us today to look inside of ourselves and ask, am I living my truth? Am I speaking my truth? Am I walking my talk? Because this is critically important. It's critically important for our civilization. It's critically important for this great awakening that we're in. And most of all, it's critically important for us. When we live our truth, we become vital, we become alive, we have longevity, we become healthy, we become productive, we begin producing good things. So one of the things that Charlie Freak mentioned a few weeks ago was that he believed JFK Jr. was behind the production of the movie Atlas Shrugged, which is in 3 segments. You can look it up. Atlas Shrugged. It's a part 1, 2, and 3. Atlas Shrugged. The Strike is part 2, and Who is John Galt is part 3. And these are really worth watching. They kind of go through this erosion of government, people giving up their freedoms, and how we begin reactivating the truth of who we are. So the question is, who is John Galt? And that's one of the really big elements of these movies. We just watched them. We watched them all 3 together. We just couldn't stop, and they're incredibly good. They're really jog our minds and our hearts to look at what is going on under the surface right now, and what has gone on with governmental controls that have become too tight over many generations with the New World Order. JFK Sr. was the one who really brought this to the forefront. He said there was such corruption in deep places behind the scenes that we would have no idea, and then he was taken out. Um, so this question, who is John Galt? It's kind of a meme in the movie. It's in the movies. It's a meme, and it is, who is John Galt is the meme of, who are you? Who are you living the truth of your being? Because those who are in the movies, in the Atlas Shrugged movies, those who are the brilliant people in the culture begin going on strike. They begin stepping out of the culture and saying, I'm not going to participate anymore, where I'm giving up the truth of who I am. And I'm going to begin living, I'm going to begin creating community with other people where I can truly live for the truth of who I am. So one of the sayings, what's really beautiful is in these movies, um, there's a free energy machine, which is like the Tesla machine. And we're really looking at 6,000 patents coming forward that were before stolen from the people and hidden. And much of the work of Tesla is coming forward. And that has to do with um, free energy. It has to do with drawing energy out of the atmosphere and giving us free power that we don't have to pay for. So in the movies, in order for the door to open where this free energy machine is kept, one must have taken this vow to this community, which says, I swear by my life and my love of it that I will never live for the sake of another man or woman, nor ask another man or woman to live for mine. Now, does this not mean that we do good things? No, it doesn't mean we don't do good things. But what it does mean is we don't give up who we are in order to do for others. And we have so many old cultural mores, that come from religion, they come from society, they come from family, from community, that if we do certain things and we live in certain ways and we conform, then we get along. And when I first wrote 21st Century Superhuman, I went through a really big, it was traumatic for me. It was around 2012, and I was working on a ranch, and somehow it came up that the people, they'd been paying me really well, and they had two girls in college, and they said, we need to let you go because we're paying for these two girls in college. And I said, that's good because I have a book that I've been pressed to write, and which actually turned into a series of books. But writing those books, I literally would sweat just thinking, what are people going to think? I'm talking about things that are beyond what the average person thinks about and the way the average person looks at their life. We're talking about quantum physics and how our thoughts create this reality. And how do we change that? How do we change the way for our thoughts to be creating our reality? So this is really important stuff when we, even on a daily basis, when we have a moment where we think, well, should I do this? This is what I really want to do, but society tells me that I should do something else. Change how I do my posts, change how I speak my truth, change how I live my life. We really need to begin asking ourselves, who am I really? What is this spark of life force that flows through me? What is this spark of life force that flows through me from the cosmos, from creation, from my soul? My soul is what lives in this body and the soul of who I am. And so we have thousands of generations here of human culture that has been built on what we know now of great levels, besides goodness, great levels of corruption, of people taking each other's lives, of people taking each other's livelihoods, of paying taxes on money that we already made, and of human trafficking now, which is coming forward, that up to 8 million children disappear a year. And this is unconscionable. What's unconscionable is layers of darkness. Now, what I address in my books, and book 2, which is just about to be up on Amazon. Book 1, Shift of the Ages, you have to look it up under Cary Kirastar Ellis, 21st Century Superhuman, Shift of the Ages, and I'll put the links under these videos, is already up in ebook, Kindle book, and audiobook. Yay, this week. I'm really excited, and that's in Audible. I'll put some links with this video, and this video will get put over on my YouTube channel as well by the end of today. So those who aren't watching it here can see it on YouTube. So what I want to ask, in this beautiful character, John Galt, is the man who walked away. He walked away from a brilliant career, a brilliant knowledge as the man who really knew how to run this alternative energy machine. And he walked away from the culture to say, I will no longer give up who I am and give up my life to be part of this culture and make a corrupt culture which is collapsing in on itself, not work. And so, as John Galt walked away and he invited others to walk away with him, he became kind of a mythos in the culture. And I want to ask you today, are you your own mythos? Are you living that beautiful life, that hero's journey that you were gifted by your soul to come here and live? Or have you been caught up in the illusion, in the matrix, like in the movies The Matrix? This is a matrix system. And it is a system where there are many illusions that we give our lives to. I want to talk about, people always tell me I have beautiful hair. And you know what? I don't use shampoo. I haven't in about 4 years. I use a tiny bit of conditioner once every couple of months so I can comb out the natural dreads that are in there. I don't use a comb, a brush. This is my natural hair. So how cool is that? And it gets essential oils and linseed oil in it. Excuse me, not linseed oil, but flaxseed gel that I actually just make on the stove at home. And I'll do a video on that one of these days because I know a lot of you would like to know. But it's like we have an IV in our arm from the advertising industry that says, if you're going to be beautiful, you need to use these products. If you're going to be beautiful, you need to wear these clothes. If you're going to be approved of, you need to do this kind of work or fit into the system or look a certain way, drive a certain car. I've lived without a car where I live for 3 years, and we use public transportation. We walk a lot. We live in a small village. I've made a choice to live a different kind of life because that life gives me life. It gives me peace. It gives me quiet. It gives me beauty around me. So there's a really beautiful additional. There's a time when John Galt literally breaks through the system, and the guy who's the head of the country basically gets cut off. He breaks through the system on a television broadcast, and he makes a commentary to people. I'd like to read a little bit of that. In the name of the best within you, do not sacrifice your sense of life to an enemy that would claim your precious mind. Do not let your fire go out. Spark by irreplaceable spark. Do not let the hero in your soul perish in lonely frustration for the life you deserve but have never been able to reach. The world you desire can be won. It exists. It is real. It is possible. It is yours. John Galt. So, what I want to say is, I know that there are many incredible things going on behind the scenes right now. We have the Q movement, we have Donald Trump, and I know there's those who are Trump. That old system feeds on fear. It wants us to stay in fear. Let's empower ourselves to live as who we truly are, to live fully as we are, to live healthfully, to live in joy, to let go to begin to monitor our own thoughts. When thoughts come up that are not of the highest frequency, let's let them go because we are creators in this world. We are creating every moment. We are creating the vision of New Earth. Are you living as if you're in New Earth today? Now, are you bringing that into being in your now moment? Because as Eckhart Tolle says, now is all there is. The future is but a dream. The past is but a vision. Here we are now. And in this now moment, we are at the crux of timelines. And everything we do in this now moment, every thought we think, when we think and live in joy, in beauty, in enlightenment, we literally resonate new timelines into motion. We bring new timelines into being by our creation. So ask yourself today, who is John Galt? Are you living according to the truth of your being? Are you joyfully producing and productive according to the joy of your being? And one interesting thing about these Ayn Rand movies, I saw somebody made a comment online. Well, they're not very well made movies. What's really cute, these Atlas Shrugged movies, and what Charlie Freak had said is he felt that JFK Jr. was behind the production of them, which I believe he probably was. They were simply made, they were made in 2012, 2011, 2012, and 2014. And I believe they were made for us for now. These are movies that are made simply. They're not some big Hollywood production. And what do we know right now? Hollywood is really corrupt. Something coming out of Hollywood is not necessarily the truth. Hollywood was run by Operation Bluebird, by these programs that the CIA put together in order to program us, to keep us as happy little sheep. Well, we are sheep no more. We are rising as a humanity that is carrying the vision of a new earth, of an earth where peace, love, plenty, productivity, joy, the ability to live and just enjoy life as who we are. Can you even comprehend that? I mean, how much of your life gets given every day to getting in a car, to driving places, to taking care of a home that costs so much that you don't even know how you're going to pay for it, working several jobs, not being with your children, not being with your spouse? Who wants to live like that? Let's call in, let's create a world where there are not starving children, where there is nobody being abducted, where there's nobody being taken into slavery. One of the things that my books talk about is how do we clear this energy from inside ourselves? And this work is from the ancient Aramaic. It is the words and the language that Yeshua or Jesus taught in, the words and the language of Buddha and Zoroaster, that are quantum language that tell us we are creating this reality. So let's begin to create out of love. Let's begin to create out of our own joy. Let's begin to create from the essence of who we are. And every moment, let's question ourselves. Am I truly acting as me, or am I acting through some old overlay? It's time for all of us who are ready to wake up and begin doing that questioning process within ourselves. And don't think I don't still do it. I have moments where I go, wow, how do I dance around this? I feel all this pressure from the outer world, from the system, from the censoring. How do I dance with it? How do I stay in love? How do I create a loving flow of knowledge and consciousness that will help others grasp their own beauty, their own joy, their own awakeness? Okay, everyone. I love you all. And I take the vow from Atlas Shrugged, which says, I swear by my life and my love of it, that I will never live for the sake of another man or woman, nor ask another man or woman to live for mine. I will live for my own joy. I will give freely when I choose to give freely, which is very often. And I will serve as a being who is awake among humanity, and I will live in a way that is joyful, that is filled with peace, love, and knowing that we are moving into a new earth and beauty. So let go of those thoughts that plague you, that keep you in fear, that keep you in anger, that keep you in doubt, and begin really focusing that spark of life inside of you, that soul energy that flows through you. Focus that in joy. And I'll put links for the books under the videos. This will also be on our 21st Century Superhuman YouTube channel within a few hours. I invite you to join us. Follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, where there's a lot of truth speaking going on. I'll put those links as well. And live your life and ask yourself the question. Learn how to ask, who is John Galt? Who is the one? Who are they who have stepped forward into the light of their own truth? Okay, much love. See you all soon. Ciao. Oh, hi. I see you, Michelle Walling, David Pollock, Atipak. Much love to you all. Thank you all for being here. And remember, even if you watch this video after it's been live, we still come back and read your comments, and we want to hear what you think, what you're working with, what you're struggling with, and what we can bring you more truth. Love you all so much. See you soon on this great rain.